Hello. We're gonna do some Wednesday work. Getting took a break from these while March. The rest of the other critter that I've now decided I'm gonna call it a fox. That's what my granddaughter decided it was, so that's what it's gonna be. Um, Took a break after finishing that. Those videos still are gonna play all the way up till I believe the first week of April. So I'm just gonna get some of these done for the month of April because I got company most of the month. So I want to make sure that all of my videos are done and out of the way. So this is what I'm making. It is like 10,000 pieces. This is not even all of them. There's 2 more bags over there. But yeah. So this is a graduation present for my best friend. She has completed all of her stuff. I don't even know. She's got 1 class left, and then she has completed her doctorate in nursing education. So when I saw the little Dr. Bunny, I thought, oh my gosh, it's going to be so cute in her office. Because we also raised bunnies. We were in a rabbitry together for many years. So we co-owned the livestock. I don't do bunnies anymore, unfortunately. My back kind of put a halt to that. So I'm kind of wishing that I hadn't mixed these up, but at the same time, I only have one of these bowls. So I'm just going through and picking out all the 3 bars. Well, as many as I can get anyway. And then if I need more, I'll dig more. I have a feeling I'm going to need more of those, but let's get started with these. Now this video, almost knocked my cup over. See, this video is going to be airing on April 9th, which is good timing because April 12th is a memorial service for somebody else in the bunny world. She was the rabbit barn superintendent for many years. She was a 4-H leader. She worked on the royalty team. Very formidable lady. She developed something after it's CMA, I think. But basically, it's an atrophy disorder, and she slowly lost her ability to do all things, including like walking and talking, and eventually breathing. Unfortunately, her memorial service is on April 12th. So the fact that this is going to be airing the very first video of this on just days before her memorial, I think is very fitting. I should have looked it up. Yeah, that's just enough to do the 1 foot. Oops. One of these. It's not a 3. There's one little pretty. And as I suspected, I'm going to need more of those. Start with that and see how far I get. 1, 2, 3 up the side. 2, 2, 3, 3, 3. And this touches his shoe. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, gonna need more. even. Gotta make this easier on myself here. One, two. So, since it's the start of the bunny, and in honor of Miss Aggie, let's talk a little bit. Let's talk about bunnies. There are currently, I believe, 51, might be 52 by now, breeds recognized by the governing body, which is ARBA, which is the American Rabbit Breeders Association. They are the governing body for rabbit breeding and showing. They're the company, not company, they are the board of people who judge a breed or a variety that has a certificate of development. That's all stuff. I don't know all. I mean, it's like you've got a certificate of development. You have to have like 4 rabbits or 3 generation of rabbits that are pretty much identical. And they're shown as a group, and if there's any flaw from one to the next and that they're not identical, then they don't pass. And when they don't pass, then they have to wait another year to be evaluated again, because it can only be done, the evaluations are only done at national conventions. One, two, three, four. And the national convention only happens once a year. So, and there's like 3, you only get like 3 fails, and then they have to start completely from scratch. Which is never desirable, ever going to be desirable. There is a breed called the English Lop that has had like 3 different certificates of development because they can't get past. I don't even know if people are still working on it at this point in the game. I've been out of the rabbit showing realm for a few years, so I don't know where they're at with all of that. As far as the English Lop is concerned, I don't really care. Or Velveteen Lop, not the English Lop. Velveteen Lop. English Lop is already a breed. I don't like the English lops, so I didn't like the velveteen lops. Um, but I always feel bad for the people that put in so much work and dedication into it, and just to have it not pass. So I do feel for that. So rabbits are broken down by breed first, by variety, color. And there's a showroom variety and a registration variety. I've always been really bad about remembering which is which. One is the color of the rabbit, and one is the registration. But yeah, we won't go into that much detail because I'm not going to be able to explain it in a way that makes sense because it never made sense to me to begin with. But I can talk about the breeds that I raised, which I had. I started out with mini Rex, and my daughter had her little Netherland dwarfs at that point in time. My sons had, they didn't have show bunnies. They just, they were just kind of there so that they could enter, and earn money. But they never got into the breeding part of things. I never wanted to get into Netherlands because they are very complicated. Because not only they're next level, because it's by breed, but then it's also by color, by variety, and by group. So if you've got Netherlands, just plan to spend your day at the show table. And there's usually hundreds of them. So it takes forever. It was never my desire to do Netherlands. That was way above my pay grade. I stuck primarily once I got into the lops. I pretty much stuck there. The only ones I didn't do was the AmFam, the American Fuzzy, and it was just because I didn't like fuzzies. I'm being honest. I was never attracted to them. And again, I think that's, it was way more work. I wanted the bunnies to be a hobby. I didn't want it to be a job. I didn't want to have to spend hours and hours and hours and hours, grooming, and it was, no. Was it nice when we got an animal that granted? Absolutely. But it was so few and far between that it was like not, it never became mundane for us because it wasn't very often that it happened to us or for us, however you want to think of that. So what it means to grand a rabbit is that your rabbit, when it was on the judging table, was the best of the best of the best. Sir, sorry, I totally just went into Men in Black just popped into my head with that. But essentially, that's what it is. Your animal was deemed the best for that breed, but there's more to it than that. In order for you to get a Grand Champion certificate for that rabbit, there has to have been at least 5 animals in that class. So say your senior bucks. It was a senior buck. Which a senior buck is a male over 6 months of age. So a senior buck, there had to be at least 5 of them. and there had to be at least 3 different breeders. So if you had 5 animals on the table but only 2 breeders and your rabbit won the best, you still don't get the grand champion certificate because there was only 2 breeders. So most people are like, why am I doing this if I'm run the risk of winning and then not getting anything out of it? So most of the time, breeders kind of work together and been like, hey, what are you bringing? And so that way we kind of, in a way, stacked the classes, not stacking them as a win, but stacking them so that it's a complete class. And sometimes that even meant bringing animals that were less than desirable. And I realized that I misspoke as well. That is not how you get a grand champion certificate. That is how you earn a leg. They call it a leg. And you have to get 3 legs, at least 1 as a senior, in order to get your grand champion certificate. So if you've granded out a rabbit, you've got a good quality animal, and that's the one you want in your breeding program. In theory. But as a wise judge once said, with enough shows, you can grand anything. And a lot of times that turns out to be a very accurate statement. Okay, that's 2 feet. Get some glue going here. Figure out where I put it. As you can see, I'm at the end of this one. Ooh, come on. Oh, that's not cool. Howdy. See, it's been so long since I've done this. I forgot that actually, there's a pin that goes in there. Okay, so this one goes right on top of that one. Right there. You have to keep an eye on the time. This one. So there are 5 breeds of lops. You have the American Fuzzy Lop, Mini Lop, French Lop, Holland Lop. Wait, I need my fingers. French Lop, Mini Lop, Holland Lop, American Fuzzy Lop, and the English Lop. And all that, what that means is that rather than their ears being up, their ears are down. Fun fact, the ear span on an English lot is a minimum 22 inches from tip to tip. They kind of look like basset hounds. Never fun. Never a fan of the English lops. Was grateful that none of my kids ever wanted to do them. In fact, they just kind of became known as ugly lops among my family. One, two, three. Two, three, four. Second one down. Okay. Just making sure. Crash to the ground. I showed rabbits for probably close to 20 years. And ultimately, it was my back that took me out of it because I was going smaller and smaller. I mean, I was at one point, we were doing French lops. French lops can be like 22 pounds. They have no max weight. Most breeds do. Most breeds have a minimum, and a maximum weight. French lops have a minimum. They do not have a maximum. So it's grow to their genetics. And the biggest one on record is 26 pounds. Big bunnies. And my back just couldn't handle it. And it timed out, unfortunately, it timed out perfectly. We had a catastrophic failure of our air conditioning unit and lost pretty much our whole barn. We only had like I think 5 or 6 survived, and so it was time for her and I to really kind of think about it and decide: do we want to continue? What do we want to do? We opted at that point, 2, 3, 4, 5, to discontinue with the French lops, and we went into mini lops, which is next size down. And mini lops, they can get bigger, but their maximum show weight is 6.5 pounds. 6 for the bucks, 6.5 for the does. The girls get to be a little extra fluffy because, they make the babies. But, so we showed that. We showed mini lops for a lot of years, went to a couple of national shows, did a lot of breeding, and unfortunately, strike number 2. We had another air condition failure, heat of the summer, and we lost everybody. So it was kind of at that point where I was like, okay, I need to either have my own barn or I need to get out of rabbits altogether, because clearly there was something going on, or what was happening was the vents were not being cleaned on a regular basis, so the system was overheating and burning out, and no matter what I had to say about it, the behavior never changed. And so, twice it happened. So when I decided I was going to separate off and get my own barn on my own property, and since we were essentially having to start over anyway, Um, I went with the smaller bunnies thinking that it would be easier on my back. That didn't last for very long. And I got, things got crazy. 2020 hit, COVID. Um, there was also a rabbit hemorrhagic disease that hit landfall on the western side of Washington, and it is 100% fatal disease. And so I was really reluctant to take my animals out of the barn at all. Um, I'm totally doing the wrong one. I was doing this one up here. Okay. And then I got sidetracked halfway through that. And let's see if I can. I was thinking something didn't feel right, but didn't get me to pause and stop, did it? So anyway, I was really reluctant to take my animals out of my barn to take them to shows, because even though there was a rule, there were rules that if you lived within a parameter, it was 250 miles of the last known infection, confirmed case. If you lived within 250 miles of that, you weren't supposed to bring your animals to shows, right? Out of respect for other breeders and their rabbitries and their hard work, people you would have thought would have been all about, yes, let's agree to that. But no, it's not what happened. It's not what happened at all. People actually cheated the system and were registering animals under places that they did not live in order to fall within the 250 miles. And that to me was very, very selfish, because you're risking killing my animals for you to be able to come to a show. And it's like, why? What is so important? Why is winning, or even not even winning, the potential, the possibility that you might win, why is that more important than the health of everybody's animals? But it was happening, and I knew it was happening. And unfortunately, I heard a rabbit judge, flat out say, because we were in a conversation, and I had made the comment that it seemed weird to me that it just vanished out of nowhere on the west side of the state, and all the shows were able to go on, because ours on the east side were getting canceled left and right because of outbreaks. And I'm like, I don't understand how this started on the west side, and yet you guys are still having shows and we're not. We're getting shut down left and right. And he goes, oh, well, we just stopped reporting it. Yeah, you heard me right. We just stopped reporting it. So I was like, nope. My animals are not leaving my barn, and we are not going to shows until this gets under control. Well, fast forward 2 years, and I'm still stuck with the exact same rabbits, because my rabbits also, during the pandemic, decided they were not going to breed. No matter what I tried, no matter what I fed them, whether I table bred, didn't matter. They either didn't take it all, or they would lose the litter. So I think looking back on it now, I feel like Maybe there was something in my herd that I didn't know about at the time. Um, and that was why they weren't breeding. But I went for 2 years without a single baby. And I'm like, all I'm doing is feeding these guys, and I'm getting nothing, no benefit out of it because I'm not getting babies. I'm not advancing my rabbitry. I'm not getting anywhere. And so I just kind of made the decision at that point that I was just going to get out of rabbits. And my plan was that eventually, when RHVD settled down, that I would get back into rabbits. Well, my back had something different. My back had a different plan, and my back wins. So I've been out of rabbits for quite some time. I miss them. I don't miss a lot of the people. It's a very cutthroat hobby. Um, amazed me, honestly, how cutthroat it could be. Like, I asked a breeder one time what she used as a conditioner for her rabbit's coat. Or not even, we didn't even have the same breed. The only chance that we would ever even have been direct competition is if we both won best of breed and we were both up for best in show, which there's no way. Even if we ended up in best of breed, which we did end up there a few times, there's no way that we would have ever won above hers. None whatsoever. Um, so we were not competition for her in any way, shape, or form. But oh my gosh, it was like I asked for her firstborn. The way she reacted, she totally flipped out. And I'm like, wow, I'm glad I don't show mini Rex anymore because, lady, you take this way too serious. But I miss some of my friends. I did make some good friends. Some of them I still follow on Facebook, so we do have some communication, but it's not really the same. Oops. Let's see what we got going here. Aha. I'm like, what's the deal? What's the dealio? All right, we're going to get this last set of the feet done, and then we will call this a video for today. Um, but yeah, if you ever find yourself in sudden possession, random possession of a bunny, you need some advice, hit me up. I said I raised him for 20 years. I can't tell you everything about every breed, but I can tell you quite a bit about husbandry and about health and diagnosing illnesses, um, stuff like that. So I'll check on my dinner. 1, 2, 3. Okay, currently going to be on the ground on the table for now. And There. Alright. So now, get these guys. Roughly, very carefully put into my hand. Ooh. Oh, great. On the carpet. Oh, good. At least it landed blue side up. Okay, and then this one, and that second one. Okay. The second one here goes on that first. That doesn't make sense. Do I have this upside down? I totally do. Ah. So this second one goes on that first one. That's not right either. Make it go that way. Yes. Now it makes sense. Look, it's spinning in circles until it makes sense. That one. Here. You guys might be looking at these feet and be thinking, holy moly, how big is this? She's big. Like 3 feet tall. I think. If I remember right. I'd have to look it back up. She's tall. This one. 1, 2, third one down. 1, 2, 3 goes on the 1, 2, 3, 1 down. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Just like that. Phone died on me. We got no music. Not the background. And there we go. We have step 1 complete. 2 little blankies. So thanks for tuning in, and we will catch you in the next video. Do all those YouTube things, like the subscribe, hit the notification bell, and of course, please share my channel with anybody you think might be interested. We'll talk to you later. Bye.